Okay, this is, of course, Nagini. Surprise, surprise, this will not be a feeding video. I'm wanting to demonstrate a couple interesting things about the basic way that these animals move and interact. She's fairly young, once again about 15 months old, not even quite a year and a half. Has had a fresh shed though, so her skin is really looking beautiful. I've moved her a little bit, so she's kind of curious, wondering what's going on. Why wasn't I allowed to just stay there in a ball, curled up under a log? And here I am going to irritate her a bit more, but not really. Remember, this is the dangerous boa constrictor. The baby eater, oh, look, she just holds on and is kind of wondering what's going on. Let's look at the cage lights. She's ready for a close-up, Mr. DeVille, she says. She's just a little curious. She's scenting a lot, but that's not a sign of aggression. That's just more of curiosity and wondering what's going on. Just turning around a bit for the camera. So much background noise, I do a voiceover for these videos. There she's back in the cage and kind of curious as to what's out there. She sort of likes being out. She enjoys being handled. It's kind of sad to be back in their cage. She has a few balance issues once again with a broken back, so sometimes I help her out in her unculling. She doesn't have to, but it just helps to get a better view of her too. And she's just going to move on now, and what I'm trying to point out is how slow and lethargic she is. Very sweet, very docile animal once again, but not quite a Formula One racer by any standards. Very beautiful snake though. Now coming up here, this is going to be something a bit different. This is another habitat. We can see a snake inside, and it's much smaller, and it's not a boa. This is a colubrid. Introducing Copper O'Flanagan, because this is a corn snake, caramel butter or butter caramel, bought on St. Patrick's Day. So she's sort of looks like a copperhead with her banded colorations, and you can tell right away she's moving a lot faster. One is that she's a baby, but the other is that she's a colubrid. She's a corn snake. It's just fun to see her explore. I just put in, right before this video, I just put in the new carpet and a couple hides and some sticks that I scrubbed off with hot water and cleaned up. This cage will actually hold her for the duration of her life. This is a permanent home, whereas Nagini's is a temporary thing. She's going to grow out of it in a year or so, and I'm hoping to get her a bigger cage. This is not quite as tamed yet. She's rather shy. She's currently, trying to find a place to hide from me. Guy with, the big arms and weird looking thing in his hand. But it's very elegant the way she moves. Now you're going to get to see a bit of her speed. All it takes is a little push, and there she moves. She's not exactly into being handled. Now, once you actually get her up and hold her, she'll still, move around, but not too much. She's just like, okay, whatever. This is really, I'm trying to introduce her to these things because she really seems to enjoy climbing. So I wanted her to get an idea that there was some stuff that she can climb over here. This is ultimate planking. Almost looks like the video freezes up, but no, she just got very still and then moving away. She almost seems to float. She will levitate the first few inches of her body. She's only a little over a foot long, I think. Very curious. And very, very active. So you can see here. Very nice banded colorations with the butter showing up as the really bright yellow dots along her pattern, almost in a motley pattern as it were. Most corn snakes that I've seen seem to have this little design on the top of their head. It's really interesting. And even as active as she is, she's still not exactly aggressive. She's fairly defensive, but has not even offered any form of aggression. And that's the difference between a boa constrictor and a corn snake. Mostly not so much temperament as in activity. And that was my introduction to Copper O'Flanagan.